What's up, y'all? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from BowlerX Pro Shop and Training Center inside Waterford Lanes, where today we've got that new storm ball, the Lightning Blackout. Now, I did something a little bit different with this. I'm kind of experimenting with some layouts, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, but I thought layouts don't matter. Again, layouts matter as far as how the ball is going to respond to friction. Layouts don't matter necessarily how much the ball is going to hook front to back, unless you use two of the extreme layouts, like a 1-inch pin versus a 3 3/8 inch pin. Those two extremes are going to show a pretty big difference. One's going to flare a lot, one's going to flare very little, and one's going to make it see the cover stock more. So that's the only instance when layouts actually matter as much as what you think. Now with this, what I did is I went with 45 by 4.5 by 80, and that third number, as you know, the layout means the lower the number, the taller the pin, and the higher response you're going to see to the friction. The higher the number, so the higher that number, the lower the pin's going to get, and the slower the ball's going to respond to the friction. The core is going to try to respond to friction. The core is going to try and transition slower throughout the entire lane, rather than trying to stand up and get it towards its axis quicker. So we went with this type of layout. I have some gaps to fill. I know this is a lower differential ball, but it does have that big cover on it, that nice pearl cover on it. So we're gonna take it out here. I've got it on the typical house shot. You're gonna see if this thing is versatile, what it's got for me, and we're gonna take it out here in a minute, so stay tuned. Hold up, before you watch that video. Have you had your swing juice yet? Yeah, swing juice, you know. Swing juice. Don't tell me you haven't had swing juice yet. I'm not even gonna practice without my swing juice. The perfect pale ale. It's actually the perfect bowling ale according to the can. And it's pretty dang good. If you like a hazy India pale ale, this is it for you. Swing juice, folks. Go ahead and get yours over at BowlerX.com. We'll ship it out to you right away. All right, y'all, here we go. So we're gonna take this this Lightning Blackout, which, by the way, we got these cool new chamois, which are available over at BowlerX.com. The coolest thing about these is it's double layered. So it's leather, double layer leather with the rubber backing with the logo. And inside they have magnets. So it'll actually stick. Whoops, that's not metal. But if it was metal, down here, yeah, see? Well, you can see it, it's stuck. Down here on the metal, it'll actually stick to it. So if you have a ball return that's not flat like this, and you need to actually get the thing to stay up there, it's perfect. So I'm gonna put a link in the description. Go ahead, get yours today. The packaging is pretty neat if you check it out. Let me see if I can find it here. What I do with it. Oh, it's right up here. Pretty cool. Comes in the packaging right here. It's called the X-Pad. Right here. Y'all can take a look at this. Pretty neat. I'm gonna have a couple of them in the shop so you guys can see them, but we're gonna take this Lightning Blackout out here and we're gonna do what we normally do. You can see that layout that I was talking about. It's that pin down layout. Puts the pin way below my fingers with the CG kicked out. So it gives me very, very, very smooth transition with this ball, unless I rotate it. Now, the cool thing about these types of layouts and stuff is you are able to manipulate it and make it do different things. Now, again, I'm specifying this because I don't want people to get confused about layouts. If I were to make this pin up, you wouldn't visibly see a difference front to back all the way down the lane. What you might see is how much it's going to hook off of the friction, or how much it's going to change shape down lane. It might not be as smooth down lane. It might just be a little sharper, so you'd see it go through the pins a little bit steeper maybe. Not much, nothing visible really. So here we go, I'm gonna stand on 20. I'm gonna look at that 9, 10, 11 range. Let's see what this thing does. So you see that. So that one I threw dead into the friction, and you watch it respond slowly off of it. So that gives me that option to be able to stay straighter with these types of layouts. I used this ball this weekend, ball 279, and then had the front seven the very first game on a challenge type pattern. It wasn't a house shot. So I led qualifying all the way through the Forest game, and then I bowled 2T in the last game and fell out of the lead, but it's okay. So now let's move 5 left. I'm not gonna rotate it yet. I'm gonna stay through it, and I wanna see if this 2-pins from here. Okay, it did not. It didn't 2-pin, so that's good. It actually stood up off the friction and it got going. So I could manipulate the ball to make it strike from that straighter angle if I want. If I just slowed down a little bit, maybe even hit it a little bit harder, gave it a little bit more rev rate, something like that. I'm gonna move 3 more left. So you can see it's still pretty quick down lane because it's a quicker ball. It is a shiny, stronger pearl cover stock. So when it sees the friction, the cover stock is still gonna wanna make it go left. The layout is what's gonna make it try to be stable. So that's what we're looking for. I'm trying to use some quicker bowling balls with more stable layouts, something a little bit smoother, to fill some gaps, because I felt like I had a gap when I went from strong, smooth bowling balls to quicker pin-up bowling balls. Like there was nothing in between. It was like staying straighter. If I went to something quicker, I felt forced to move way left because those bowling balls were so much more responsive than the slower balls. So that is not good. You should be able to get out of the slow ball and go to something a little bit quicker and be able to stay kind of in the same zone. Just now you're getting the 10-pin out. If you leave a flat 10 or you 4-pin or something, you can make a small move and go to that little bit quicker ball. I didn't have that. I had big jumps, big gaps. So we're trying to fill the gaps. So now I'm gonna move a couple more left. Still not gonna rotate it much. You can see I'm slowing down a little bit because now as I'm going left, you gotta have the ball has to be able to read the lane. If I stay fast like I was staying straighter, that ball's gonna hit the 6-pin in the face. So you have to make these small adjustments with these balls. And what I'm seeing from this thing, and I mean, being the lower differential ball, I've always loved these types of bowling balls anyway. I felt like these kind of bring out my versatility more than any bowling ball because it's not going to force me into certain parts of the lane. They kind of let me do what I like to do with them. So now we're going 5 more left. Rotate just a little bit more. So you see how slow that one comes off the back of the pattern? You can see it start to migrate in the middle of the lane and make its move, but then it's super slow. If I rotate it, I can get it to be quicker. I can get it to snap off that spot. So let's try that. I'm actually just gonna get a little bit stronger with my hand and rotate a little bit more. See what it does. See there? So you can make the bowling ball quicker. You can make the ball actually make a sharper motion just with your hand. So those are the things. So the surface of the ball and what your hand does is by far the most important aspect of ball motion. So you can drill all these bowling balls and stuff, which is probably a good idea to have different cover core combinations, different surfaces, all that stuff for sure. But until you can dial in what you can really do with your hand, you're gonna have a hard time. You gotta make sure you understand your physical game, the things you can do with a bowling ball before really making decisions on purchasing balls. So I'm gonna stay around it and strong. Go a few more left. So you see how quick I can make that thing? You see how much I can make it stand up off the spot? So that's amazing. That's a good sign. So and from there, I mean, I don't have to make it so quick. I'll try and throw that shot again. And try not to get around it as much. And see if I can get it to strike. Yeah. didn't get around it as much, and I threw it to the right. So that's the detriment of using a layout like this, is it's gonna be slower to react. So when you get it out the window like that, more times than not, this is not gonna be the right ball in this part of the lane. So these types of layouts are, for me, they're more about controlling the lane, controlling the pattern, keeping the ball in front of you. I don't want to have to try and make it quicker. Why would I want to make a ball like this, a quick ball, even quicker, when I could just go to a different ball that is meant to do those types of things? So I'm just going to get against the ball return now. Let's see what it does in here now. I mean, it is really fun to watch. Like, this type of ball reaction is really cool. Not normally ideal, but it is fun to watch the ball get to that dry spot down lane and just look like somebody kicks it left. Go just a couple more left. Oh, that's one of those shots where it looked like you could have left the 4-9-10. That ball's coming in at such a sharp angle, it could have 4-9-10. All right, in front of the ball return, see how it does. So from there, the big steep angle, you can see it starting to really slow down. It's getting way too far down lane. But again, super clean cover, not the strongest core. It's kind of what this ball's meant to do. So now you'll watch, I can actually move right, and I can get to that 7, 8, 9 range, and this ball will float through there still. Bad balance, I tried to get out of your way. A little slippery. Oh, I never changed my sole, that's why. I'm like, why is it so slippery today? So I bowled a tournament where they were not as slippery and went to a more slick sole. Whoops, all right, let's try that again. I'll try not to step in the way. Just so you can see it. You probably saw that, but pretty neat. Just watch it float right through there. So that's really cool. So there you go. So that is that Lightning Blackout by Storm. This is going to be one of them balls that I think a lot of people are going to like because it is that skid flip type of look. You can make this ball really be skid flippy because that low differential, it's going to make that ball quick. It's going to make it get down there and go around. Really, really take a left turn or a right turn if you're left-handed. So anyway, this is the Lightning Blackout. Make sure to get yours in the link in the description. Make sure to comment and like. Let me know what you think of this ball. Come on up here to BowlerX Pro Shop and Training Center. Call me up. Make an appointment. We'll get you one when these are released, but pre-order yours over at BowlerX.com. And until next time, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys later. Take care.